Okay guys, if your cab has some rust like that, I'm going to teach you how to fix it. First, got to remove our bed. Next, you're going to want to chop off your whole back half of your frame. Ba-boom. You are going to want to keep your rear axle though. But this frame, you can get rid of that. Never mind, you're going to want to cut off your spring perches and keep one leaf spring. But then next, let's get rid of running boards. Get down there. So we have clear access to this rust. Now you're going to just want to like trace around the rust so you know where to cut it out right now. And just, you know, do that tracing. And then now we know where to cut. Well, I've cut quite a bit out yet, but the rust was just penetrating up there, you know. We got more here, so we're just gonna have to keep cutting out this metal. Okay, obviously you guys have the gist of things. We're replacing that rust with a tire. So I wanted to butt it right up to this B-pillar seam here so that the cab will retain that strength. And I was originally thinking of just welding the rear axle hard to the frame, but with how the axle's landing right now, we are going to have room for like an 11-inch drive shaft. So I think 11 inches gives us enough to actually incorporate some suspension into things and get some pretty good articulation and suspension travel on our rear axle, which that's going to make this thing a lot more comfortable and usable. So I'm stoked about that. So let's work on that little drive shaft now. Here's my new little stubby drive line. Got it all squared up and the yokes are dead even, so we'll weld out this end now. That'll do. It should hold. So this leaf spring hanger is just bolted on with 3 bolts right now, but I'm also going to weld on the outside of it and also the inside here. I'm going to weld vertically downhill so that all the internet welders can get mad at me. And then if this rips off and the welds fail, I'll admit I was wrong, but it's not going to break. So let's do this. Okay, the rear of these leaf springs are going to kind of just ride on this tube. So I made these brackets here so that we'll weld to the tube and also slot around the frame like that. So run that tube there and that'll support the rear of the truck. Alrighty, our little drive line is in. Now I've limited out the down travel of the rear axle with this chain. So I made that bracket that bolts onto 3 of the diff cover bolts. And then I welded this eyelet into this cross member. So the reason I'm limiting it at the differential itself, instead of like 2 points on the axle, is now my pinion won't drop any more than that. However, it still leaves me with a ton of further articulation and down travel with the rear axle. That clanking is just this leaf spring hitting the other leaf spring, by the way. So I did get this aluminum fuel cell strapped in there. But now the next step I'm going to tackle is taking some sheet metal and building an actual fender to close all this in right here. So these 2 pieces of metal cut out. I'll go ahead and run this long one through the sheet metal roller so it can get this curvature initiated into it, and then we'll weld it all in. Okay, this fender is fully welded in. Now I'm going to take the plasma torch, run it along this edge, and trim off all this excess. Easy as that. I did already complete the other side too.
Alright, Hunter, how was your interaction with our boys in blue?
Oh, it was good, man. You know, we were going to take the Stub Truck to the gas station to fuel up, but we decided to take it back home and bring this jug because it's a lot more street legal. Anyways, yeah, we're pulling out the neighborhood road onto the main road. Right as I got to that stop sign, there were 2 officers chilling like 100 feet away, and we both made eye contact, so I know I was about to see them in a minute or so. So I was like, we were going to turn down that way. I was like, well, maybe we'll turn this way and just hope for the best. And yeah, they pulled out, came and checked on the old Stub Truck. So the guy came up to the window and he was like, well, do you think you can name 10 reasons why I pulled you over? I was like, officer, I can name 20. He was like, so what's going on with this thing? What are you guys doing out here? I was just like, oh, just a test drive. We just finished building it. Like, okay, I'm not gonna give you guys too hard of a time, but let me see your license and whatnot. So he did that, and he was like, all right, just be careful out here. I'm not gonna give you a ticket or anything. So he was really cool about it. But if, like he said, if a state trooper caught you, he'd slap you with $1,500 in fines immediately, and that thing would end up on a tow truck pronto. So just be careful out there. So he was cool about it. Thankful for a nice experience there, but now go fuel up the truck and stay a little closer to home. Play on some roads where we won't get bugged. Oh, let me go get something real quick. He's got Is it gonna make sense?
There you go.
Yeah, see, it's my spot. That's why I'm parked here. That's why I'm dripping oil there. Marking my spot.